Oh, no.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Toffee TV. It's Monday, the 10th of March.
No,
we are
James.
just poo-pooing James's weather forecast.
No.
Which he told us it was basically going to be rubbish, rain all week for the rest of the week. And there isn't any rain.
No.
So I don't know. Are you sure you're looking in like Liverpool? Are you sure you're not looking in like...
I just googled the weather, and the next few days it has
The
rain
weather.
icons. Yeah.
But you could have been like Googling the weather in Machu Picchu or whatever it's called. I mean, that's what you dress for. That's what you dress for.
Machu Picchu.
Well,
Or maybe Snowden. There's rain. I don't know.
I'm ready.
You're ready
you
for
look
it.
ready.
You're ready
There's
for
no
it.
rain for the rest of the week. In fact, the rain scores are very low.
Yeah, told him this. I did tell him this, but he. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. We digress. Everton made it 8 games undefeated at the weekend. James gave me some very alarming information before he said people are already slagging David Moyes off.
Not real people.
No, they're not real. Of course, they're not real people. Real people would accept that we're not going to win every single game, given,
Who are these people,
They'll
James?
be the same people.
Just a lot of people are saying...
Where? No, where, though?
On Twitter.
Where on Twitter?
Twitter.
You can't. We didn't play well on Saturday.
No, we were terrible.
But
we didn't.
But the point being is, we haven't bought 10 new players. In fact, we've lost players.
That's the weirdest.
We are.
People are on it.
Saturday was a really good wake up call to what we are really about. And we're not that. We're just,
what we are.
There was such a lack of quality on Saturday on both teams, and towards the end, you could tell both teams were like, "Let's not lose this, lads."
They had better players in midfield than for me. Like, as in on the ball. They're just more comfortable on the ball than what we were. We were hard working and covered the ground well. We haven't got, that X factor anywhere across the front four. We know that. And that was where it was, wasn't it? But for people, these will be the same people who said Dyche was a miracle worker, I imagine, and this, that, and so their opinions are their own opinions, and you just have to put it to one side. But at the end of the day, it was another game without a defeat and another point. And it's disappointing because you're looking at it going, these are here for the taking.
Yeah.
But they will have been thinking exactly the same thing, and their need is far greater than ours. And I was just disappointed with the goal we conceded. It was dreadful. I thought it was... Drisha got caught out. Branthwaite, that was really poor defending, and the goalkeeper should have saved it. He got a hand on it. It was right at him. He should have saved it. But he did make 2 big saves. One in the first half, one in the second half. So that is what it is. But attacking wise, we were...
The front two were rubbish, let's be honest.
No, they were
rubbish.
They were all forward. Harrison, they were hard enough. I'd never questioned it, but they just wasn't happening. And Lindstrom, just quiet again. Lack of quality, getting down the back. It's the way it was.
It was one of those games that no one will remember tomorrow.
No.
No, it's one of those games that no one will. It's just one of those games, wasn't it? It was really lacking quality, poor kick-off time. And to be fair, I'll be honest, I was just waiting for someone to fall over in the box and them to get a penalty, because I just felt like one of those games where they were just going to get, like, you could see like the commentators egging them on and all that kind of thing. And it was like our players kept on, like, you could see, it was almost like you could go, you could see what was going to happen in many ways as the game was going on. But the subs really helped. Alcaraz really helped.
Yeah, he did.
Running with the ball towards him, opening that space for Beto. But we still looked leggy. And as I said, it's still not a great side. It's still relying on, you've meant, like, Jack Harrison and Lindstrom to be your wide men to create that creativity. The core has to do everything right, and he didn't. He was poor. And I think Alcaraz has give the manager a real decision to make now on Saturday. And that's what Alcaraz is there to do, and that's why the subs are so important. Last 30 minutes or last whatever, subs come on and can they make a difference? And I thought one sub made a real difference. I thought the other sub was terrible. But there you go. It'll boon him.
Yeah, he just didn't get it.
Well, he got a booking, didn't he? And once he got the booking, he didn't know what to do. He did not know what to do. But I thought Alcaraz he's given the manager a real decision now for Saturday, I think, and that's brilliant. That's exactly.
Good. I mean, he'll keep the core in, but that he should have to worry about it, because Alcaraz was good and showed the ability that he's got on the ball. Travelling with the ball, going past players, that's what we need. And it's just this what it is, isn't it? I don't know what... I'm sure when David Moyes took over, if everyone would have said, by early March, you'll be safe, it won't matter. And the only thing you're playing for is money now, which is how high you can finish for prize money. Surely everyone, given the way Deitch had us playing and the results and where we were, and everyone, we're down, whatever it is, sure everybody would have gone, go ahead, give me that, I'll take it. And then what? We haven't gone this long without losing since 2017. So I don't know how anyone, even if you're a fan who hasn't got a clue about football, could moan about it. It's frustrating when you're watching, you go, oh, these are here. But when we haven't got those players, we haven't even got a full complement of players that we've got in our
We haven't got a
squad.
second centre forward. So if Beto is...
After 65 minutes, Beto's knackered. So therefore, if you had Bros, whether you like him or not, but he's a different... Someone like him or Calvert-Lewin or Chimity even fit, you can replace Beto. Then you've got Alcaraz.
Sorry, I just need to stop you for one moment. Danny Ellis, you can never, ever, 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 ever say anything about me and the music I listen to or anything ever again after that comment. Ever again.
What comment?
Ever again. I'm not going to say anything.
It better not be the aha comment.
No. I'm not going to mention the comment. I'm just going to say you are never ever allowed to give me stick ever again after that comment. Ever again.
Okay.
People can find the comments if they want and read it.
Sophie Gallagher on the super chat, thank you. Soph, she's also a YouTube member, says it's same amount of defeats as Manchester City. And got too many draws. So the way it is, isn't it? We've done really well. I'm not going to, harp on about people who are moaning. People who moan will be the same people if we won 11 on the run and moan because it wasn't 8-0 every game. So they just get put over there and just let them live their own lives. We are safe. It's all done.
Well, the Premier League confirmed that yesterday.
Did they?
Yeah, by putting us in that tournament in the summer.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. But we're safe. It's all done. It's done and dusted. It's how many points we can get now. And how many places we can finish up. And of course, United and Spurs didn't win, although Spurs got a lucky draw.
Both of them got a lucky draw.
And United really are terrible at the moment without Bruno Fernandes. Spurs are all over the place, but Bournemouth are a good side, so we're still in with that mix. And we just gotta do what we can do, haven't we? That's all it is. Brentford aren't miles away from us. That's all it is. It's all about next season. It's about the summer. And now they can plan for the summer. They're safe. The bottom three are going. Wolves will be all right. And that's where we are. And you look at the squad and you go, okay, we need another forward because we know two of them at least. Well, two of them are gone. We need two wingers with pace and a bit of creativity. We need a creative midfield player. We need another left back and a decision on a right back. And that's it. And that's where we are. So we know that. So it's just every week now. Can we just continue climbing up the table or certainly just gathering points? West Ham at home on Saturday represents a great chance of 3 points. They're not a great side, far from it. And it's up to us to do it before we have another little break then. And go from there, don't we?
Yeah. And also I think Saturday you did get that little sort of what teams typically happens to them when they do have a little break. One team had had a break, one team hadn't had a break. And I know it was only a few days, but I think that's it's like when you come back from an international break and that game back is always sluggish for both teams because they haven't played for a couple of weeks. And I think there was a bit of that as well. And as I said, people might go, no point having to go to kick-off time, but it is weird. Like you've got to move, your whole body clock's got to move as well. And I know they do play 8 o'clock games on the week. I get that, but we just never got going in terms of the creative side. And it is what it is. It was, as I said, at the beginning of the game, you want to win, and you can be disappointed at the end of the game. But I was quite happy with the point because of the way we played. I just looked at it and thought, we've been rubbish and we've got a point on the road and we carry. It's another point up the table, and it took us above Man United and West Ham. And I think Newcastle will probably put out an under-9 side tonight, so West Ham will probably win. But it's what it is.
I don't know. They've got 0 chance of winning the Carabao Cup.
Well, that is
so therefore they've got to get points because everyone else is by them in Europe now. So they need the results tonight. So but there's nothing we can do about everyone else. We just got to look after ourselves, and it's the frustration for me watching it was just we were just flat, and you're waiting for something to happen, and it just didn't happen. The goal sort of come out of nothing, didn't it? It was a scruffy goal.
Yeah, and
we didn't ever build any sort of. We just didn't play like we have been, but that's just the way it is, isn't it? That's just the way it is.
Poor. You're gonna play poorly, aren't you? You're gonna have bad games, of course. You have your quality when you have a bad game. Your overall quality will lift you above. That's why good teams can play poorly and still win the games, because their quality, those moments of quality. We didn't have moments of quality. The first half, Beto could barely get a touch of the ball, and the Corey wasn't that. So it was just coming back. They were breaking our press all the time, and that's where you need quality players, and we just didn't have it. And it is what it is.
You can't just sort of lose your mind because you haven't won a game. I
think we've got to get out of that mindset as well of every single game worrying. That'll be the next thing that we have to deprogram ourselves about, isn't it? It's every single game has to is make or break, and it's obviously a collective, and you obviously want to play well, but it's the results, and sometimes you'll pick results up not playing well, and I think Saturday was just one of those where, as I said, and look what they could have done with that, knowing that Ipswich had lost and Leicester were likely to lose. A win for them nearly guarantees safety in many ways, because all they've got to do then is just match the bottom three, and the bottom or two of the bottom three are picking up 0 points, then all you got to do is match that. For them it was at home. Everton, okay, they're in a good run, but maybe it's a good time to play them, because look at the team, and towards the end I think they were a little bit ooh, these could catch us, because
the Beto one was the one I think that stopped them in the tracks, didn't it? Because they thought, and if you look at sort of the attacking momentum, Wolves were at the attack more, but Everton's XG was better, wasn't it? So it would have been a game, I think, if we'd have won it, where I'd have been saying, yeah, we nicked that because we don't think we deserve to win. We didn't deserve to lose it because they didn't do anything either. That's always a fair result, and that's the way it is. You can't win every game. Yeah. What I said on my maths reaction was, it'll be a better point in the morning when I get up, because I was disappointed Saturday. And the other thing was, if we'd have beat United like we should have done, and maybe beat Brentford like we should have done, then on Saturday you'd have gone. It's a good point there, because we weren't very good, and we've got a point. It feels worse because we threw it. Certainly United, Brentford was one of them, but we had really good chances to win it. But United was the easiest home game we've had all season for 70 minutes, and then the last 20 we threw it away, and that was. But yet you see, like Bournemouth yesterday, they're playing brilliant, 2-0 up against Spurs and throw two. It happens, doesn't it? Yeah. It happens, and you've got to sort of get past it. So just got to put it to bed, really. We are going to do a designated video on Kevin Stelwell, but he's released a statement today, obviously. We had the news all on Friday, the changes, didn't we? And he's released a statement, 2-page statement today, through his advisors, I guess.
Okay.
Just saying he's proud of what they've achieved, and given that they had to sell basically all the players and had a lower budget than anyone, while everybody else is strengthening, but they're in a better place than when he came.
Yeah.
So where he leaves, would you sort of agree with that they're in the club's in a better place than when he came?
100%. No, I do generally 100% believe. You can talk about signings, and you can say, well, he bought this player or that, whatever, that never happened or whatever. But I think in terms of being in a better place, I think 100% he is, to give the man his due, he has kept the club afloat in many ways. He's done some good deals and he's let quality go and managed to bring in adequate replacements most of the time. Obviously, the quality has gone, but I just think that he has been able to bring in adequate replacements for what the situation required. I think in the summer, they obviously did some very creative accounting with, and it would be interesting to know who came up with that concept.
Yeah.
But he was obviously part of the situation with, I don't know. Would you say they were overinflated fees? I don't know, but certainly they started a trend of Everton and Villa started a trend of buying and selling at a higher rate to allow. I think we can say it, can't we? To allow to clear PSR.
I mean, Newcastle Forest done it as well.
And they did, and I think that was really that was really clever. So, and I think what he has done at the football club is just give a very sensible approach that was needed. You know, you remember how chaotic it was before that, and how there was so many different things. You know, Marcel Brands, I would love to have seen him given a fair crack, but he had obviously so many different people around him. To the you know, and the owner and the other owner and the manager and the chairman and the owner's agent mate, and all the club for so many years was getting pulled in so many directions, and he came in, and obviously the Mashiri was sidetracked, and he came in, and I think he steadied the ship, and I think you know, can walk out of the club with his head held high and move on to another club that will need either something similar or something that he'd want to do more fitting with actually taking a club forward. It just, for Everton, it just isn't. It isn't going to be us, is it? And obviously there's going to be a restructure of that situation. Now we'll see how that works out. But I think personally he's done a good job. You can get, as I said, into each signing and start breaking those signings down and all that kind of thing. But I think just generally from the money we had and or didn't have, and you know, I do think, and when you look at all those things of like net spend and all that, and how ridiculous some of them look for us compared to some of those other clubs, I think he's done well.
Yeah, spent 145 million, and brought in 225, I think, in that time. So, you know, that sort of tells its own picture, doesn't it? Whereas everybody else is...
It tells its own picture.
Paints its own picture. Everybody else is strengthening. You know, ours is the lowest net spend over the last 5 years, and all of that other stuff that goes with it. So, I think, yeah, if you're looking at it from a numbers point of view, he has done a good job. And he's made important decisions. Got people in that have been able to contribute. Yeah, that's all you can say, isn't it?
I think he's got people out at the right time as well. Whether, you know, he's managed to, you know, you look at someone like maybe like a Wobie. Like, I think that him leaving at that time and getting that kind of money for a player with going down to the last year, and I think he's done stuff like that well, and there'll be things that he wouldn't have wanted to do, but he's done them. He's managed to juggle the finances and make sure that there was always someone that could come in, and yeah, I think he's done all right.
Yeah, you know, wish him well wherever he goes. Are you surprised that he's staying till the summer? I know it's easy to say, no, you know, we should see it out, but it is
I suppose
it's an interesting thing, isn't
I
it?
suppose it depends what his day-to-day job is in terms of like what is he doing. He's not, you know, there is gonna there's the the CEO coming in at the end of the season. It's interesting that because it's like he's staying until the CEO comes in. It's like that's not the same job. No. So what does that mean? What does that mean that he does? Does he do more than what we give him credit for? Does he? You know, that I don't know, but clearly Everton are going to have a massive reset in the summer, and this period right now is about putting things in place. Is he dealing with contracts right now as part of his sort of his last hurrah? Is he working just in terms of like working with the club to settle the contracts of some players, who's going to stay, who's going to go? Because he's going to have all that information, isn't he? He's still going to, he retains all that knowledge. He's got all that information. Why shouldn't the club use it? He'll know the bigger picture, what's out there. If we don't, you know, are we looking to bring someone in? Are we looking to keep a player? Why, you know, he still works for us for the next few months. Yeah. Okay, he mightn't have the final say, but he's you know, I'm sure he will just do his job properly because, you know, as I said, when you move on to that next club as well, don't want anyone talking to you saying that he just phoned it in for the last couple of months or whatever. So,
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think that. I'm just thinking he's with Everton. How involved will he be with Everton? Obviously, trying to move to a different thing.
Well, ultimately as well, though, it's in terms of like bringing players in. I don't really think he's not going to have any kind of say, is he? David Moyes and whoever they appoint to work with David Moyes they're going to be the people who make those decisions now. But maybe there are just contractual stuff and just day-to-day stuff that he deals with that he has to keep dealing with. And if he doesn't deal with them, there's actually no one else to deal with them at the club at the moment. Because obviously other people have left, other people will leave, and you do need some sort of continuity at the football club to keep that all ticking over, especially as you're bedding in new people as well.
Gary Ball says, Hardy, not so purple, he says. I was at Wolves Saturday night, and I have to say our set pieces are absolutely terrible. Not sure what Charlie Adam is doing with them, but they're worse than before he came. Kev Maloney says, we got that goal against Liverpool, and the set piece coaches also teach the defence of set pieces. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think what I do know is we don't seem to have any good set piece takers when McNeil isn't
there. That's
and I find that absolutely terrifying that professional footballers struggle so much with taking set pieces. You've got to be able to, you're an elite sportsman, you've got to be able to kick a football properly. So, I don't know. I wouldn't put it all down to Charlie Adam, in all fairness, but who knows?
The set pieces hadn't been good most of the season for Everton. They lost their set piece coordinator, I think, in the summer, if that's what you want to call them. And our set pieces hadn't been great anyway. It was always just go to the back post, which generally does work.
Skewered by the Wolves game when we scored a few.
But it comes down ultimately to delivery, doesn't it? It comes down to getting the ball past the... I tell you what, there was one in the first half where I think it was at 1-0 where Branthwaite got the first contact and it just hit one of their players. And you could tell by his face that he knew. He knew it was going in.
You can have the greatest ideas and work on it on a training ground. Come up with the greatest set plays ever, but if you can't put the ball where it needs to go, and that's just on the kicker taking it, isn't it? If you can't do that, then that's not really anything your set piece analyst, set piece coach can do. If the lads delivering a ball can't deliver it in the right areas, then Harry James Tattoo said could be a little controversial, but I honestly don't see what James Garner brings to this team anymore. Neat and tidy to a degree, but offers very little.
I don't think he had his poorest game since coming back on Saturday, but I think before that, I think he's been decent. Good in the tackle, decent passer. But I think we spoke about this on Friday. He's one of those players who's really going to have to step up. Really going to step up, but they're going to be replaced. It's as simple as that. They're going to be replaced.
Yeah. Ian says, Ian the Blue says, afternoon all, if we could get one marquee this summer, 50 to 60 million, who would you like for us to sign?
Absolutely no idea.
Marquee? Is there a marquee? Is 50 million a marquee? Don't know. Off the top of my head. Because it's about needs, isn't it? You'd love someone like Jonathan David, but he's free. But it's how much money he wants and could he come here? Someone like that would make a difference to us. Don't know, mate, because there's so much that needs doing. In terms of, we've got all effort and we've got a good structure and we've got players that could easily get Everton in up to 10th. If the decent manager, which we've got now, and if you kept all that squad together, if David Moyes was there day one, the team would have finished between 10th and 13th, I imagine. Something like that. You then need more goals and that to get higher than that. So it's what you can do. We need wide players. We need players who can turn a game quickly. So I'd have to have a proper think about it, to be honest. But I think I don't think it's one marquee player that's going to make the difference, to be honest. No. I think we need 3 or 4.
I'm just going to say Brian and Boom Boom.
Okay. Alex says, watched the Bournemouth game yesterday. Have to say their left back was brilliant. Kirk has, yeah. Up and down, put great crosses in. Think we need 2 fullbacks in the summer if the team is to progress. And Steve Peace, he costs less than what we pay for Michalenko. Because they're all out there. Mark Max says, perfect results shown TV that 8 p.m. kickoffs should be banned. And it gave Moyes the chance to see the real Everton team. Neil says, unbeaten, yes, but we need to start winning games again. I feel a bad result is on the but we're safe. What was the objective, Neil? To get safe. And Everton is safe. I personally, I think got to have a little bit of perspective here. Don't get me wrong, I was as disappointed as anyone. I was kicking the couch and everything on Saturday night watching it because it's frustrating. But when you step back and go, hang on, it isn't all about results at the moment. Like, all of a sudden, like, it's not everything. It's like, oh my God, we haven't got that result. You've got to step back and go, what was the aim of the manager to come in was to keep us up? Because the other fella had us relegated, virtually. So it was the aim of the manager was to keep us up. He's done it. And there's still, I don't know, 10 games left, is there? 10. Whatever it is, 10 games to go. So you can't tell me you wouldn't have bit someone's hand off to be safe with 10 games to go. So you've got to let it play out. Bad results or not, it happens, doesn't it? But we're the Premier League team next season. It's what happens in the summer. Bainey says, wasn't a great performance at the weekend. It was the worst under Moyes, but yet we got a point. 8 p.m. kick-off, a factor. Still happy. Thought we'd have been better after the warm weather camp in Moyes, we trust. Josh says, afternoon, guys. I think if Njai played in the last 3, we'd have 9 points from him. But this is it, isn't it? We haven't got him. And that's, everybody needs that little bit of perspective to go, yeah, if we had Njai, if we had Brozier, if we had Calvert-Lewin available, Chimiti fully fit, if we had, who else am I missing? Someone else. We had, options that you can look and go, actually bring him on and bring McNeil, mate, whoever. Them lads are all fit and ready to go. We'd have different options and that would have brought, but we haven't. So we're getting results. The lads have done great in all fairness with the results, so got to keep going. Grandpa Flum says, I'm loving the mid-table mediocrity. Yeah. Austin says, morning guys, going to be in the 70s and sunny here this weekend, Kentucky. Future's looking bright for the Blues. I'll be going to Atlanta this summer to see Everton right before my birthday in August.
Nice.
It's right, Austin. Ian says, those slagging Moyes off don't matter. Mark Max says, 76 games without a goal for Linson. Steve P says, do you think Moyes will be looking at a holding midfielder, someone tall and strong who can get on the ball? Someone like Onana? I personally think that's what we're missing, as we don't have one. And he did seem to want that at West Ham as well.
But it's a lot easier if you've got one, isn't it, rather than having to have 2.
Well, it means it's risky. I mean, he was Everton's best player on Saturday night by stats-wise. He goes and hunts the ball, doesn't he? So you do want someone who can just sort of patrol behind him, and they have to be comfortable on the ball. I don't. Just the way we play, I think, is a little bit needs looking at. I think. Just when you look at the makeup of the team, got to have two because he wants to play the core where he plays him.
I think you've got to. I said this though a few weeks ago. I think with Beto, you have to have a almost like another number 9 with him.
I know, but Alcaraz is better.
No, I know, but I'm saying when Beto came into the team, it's so he can't hold the ball.
No.
He hasn't improved as a footballer, has he? What he's done is
he's a goal scorer.
He can get in front of goal and score, but he's still not that player. And
but I just think it's when it's him and the core who's the same as him, it's magnified. The Core's rangy and gets around, but he's.
But I think it is. But I think I think for most of the time when the Core's played up front, when you can see why he plays. But Saturday, both of them were really poor. And when Alcaraz came on, Alcaraz wants to run with the ball, so he stretches defenders, and that allows Beto to run into the space that he leaves in. And that is a different way of playing. It might leave you a little bit short in other areas. It's whether you can take those risks or whether you want to take those risks. But it's all about, we've been picking up points, so the manager will look at it and go, there might be a time where he'll go, now I can play Alcaraz, but we don't know the situation, do we? Is there a clause in his contract saying if he plays a certain amount of games, it means we have to sign him? Do we want to commit to that? Are we still looking? Are we, buy before you try? If he comes off the bench, that's not the case. And because we don't really need...
try before you buy is what you want, not buy. You don't want to buy him before you try.
Well, for some things...
Players.
It's we can look at him and still be making our mind up. So, again, listen, these are all factors we all knew about. These are not like... We know what we want, and it's not necessarily in the squad at the moment.
Steve Williams says, I wouldn't even mention on air people are slagging Moyes. It gives us a bad name. Makes us look ridiculous to non-Evertonians. As ridiculous as people not doing it.
I'll be honest, mate. I couldn't care less about non-Evertonians. This is a channel for Evertonians, and if we should get our own house in order before we worry about anyone else.
Just highlighting people who are making ridiculous comments about the manager already. David
Can I just give you what? Some breaking news.
Oh, come on, always.
Neymar's injured again.
It's March, isn't it? But he is in Brazil. So it's sorted. Job done.
But when's his birthday?
It's his sister's birthday, isn't it? David says, as you say, it was a poor game. Some people seem to be offended by criticism. They're not immune from criticism.
Oh, his birthday was last month.
Yeah, his sister's is soon.
His sister's tomorrow. Tremendous.
There you go. Told you. Eddie says the team looked like they were going through the motions, no real passion from the players. I don't know whether it was... I thought they worked hard. I just didn't think they were... It was one of them days. They just didn't play. I think
sometimes you find what you want to find, don't you? You see what you want to see. Yeah. I just thought we were dreadful. I just thought there was a bit around the 60th minute where I was just like, oh my God, the ball was just like bang, 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 bang. It's bouncing around everywhere. And I was just like, oh, will someone just put their foot on the ball, please? And it was like we were trying to make subs, but the ball wasn't going out of play. And I was like, oh, can someone just put their foot on the ball and stop this game for 5 minutes? Someone just go down and stop this game for 5 minutes, because it was just like meh, 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 meh. And then he made the subs and it did calm down then.
It is weird, isn't it? It's like, I was saying this to my dad and to Zach, like, it was that we started off badly and you're thinking, all right, we didn't start great at Brentford and we didn't start great at Palace, but we grew into the game. And then by half time it's like, well, he'll have a go and he'll be set. And like, it's 5 minutes into the second half, I went, we're not going to get it. It's just not going to happen. There's not going to be a period in this game where we're good, because it's just not going to happen, because it hasn't happened. And you can see with players that it goes past the point where it's like we'll get our foot on it. There was nobody to do with it. It was just everybody's biorhythms were low. You could tell, because nobody played well. Nobody had a good game. Garner was the best, and Tarkowski maybe of a bad bunch. But that's one of them things. Sometimes 2 or 3 are just below. on
Is
Saturday.
it because it's Wolves? Is there like a Wi-Fi signal getting sent
I
out that
think
makes
so,
all
'cause
our
we're
players
always
bad or
rubbish at
something?
Wolves.
We're always, but it's always. But this was always a thing when Moyes was the manager first time. We had games where everybody was rubbish. It was like just collective rubbish, wasn't it? There was just certain games we were like, how have we got 7 players off today?
Unplugged, yeah.
It was so weird.
Normally we do that against Liverpool, don't we? But there you go. We do. Eddie says, also, do you not all do daylight savings times?
Yeah, but we do it at the end of the month when it's like normal. We don't just throw it in the middle of the month.
You just throw it in
It's just
randomly.
like, whatever, lads.
Labour
Whatever.
Day, just save some daylight, yeah.
We do it at the end of the month, so everyone feels better.
Kev Maloney says, drop the core into midfield, put James Garner on the right wing, and play Alcaraz in the 10.
Isn't that what he did on Saturday? Once he changed it.
He did when he changed it. We took the core, he went off, didn't he? But
No, I'm saying he switched it around, didn't he? At first.
at first, he put Alcaraz on the
Yeah.
left and then moved it very quickly. Then he put Harrison. He went, no. Donald says, or Neil, Donald Neil. I'll say Donald. I apologise. We're in a good place at the moment. The last 3 years have been tough going. Onwards and upwards. Interesting summer ahead. Spot on, mate. Absolutely spot on. Dan W says, was out and about in Liverpool over the weekend. It was my first time for a night out and it puts London to shame. Very positive vibes and overall a lot of sound people.
I think quite a lot of places put London
Yeah,
to shame when it
London's
comes to a night
a
out.
place at the
London's
moment.
just like, it's not a real place, is it?
No.
Like a lot of places. Liverpool's like, I haven't been out in Liverpool for a while, but it's you know, it's a thing.
Steve Williams, we could do that. We could do it, see a Tuesday on Premier with Kevin Thelwell signs. We could.
We will do. We'll get there.
That's a good idea.
You're supposed to come up with these ideas.
I have
But you're
ideas.
too busy complaining that you didn't like the most recent
I said I
7.
didn't like it. I said I wanted to know what was up with Mark.
You'll find out next week or this week what is up with Mark on Severance.
Great story.
But just drop it. Just let it go. It was a
feel like
good
you're
episode.
more angry about
I am more angry. I'm more angry because you're not buying into the
I
process.
bought into it. I just wasn't happy that
You
we
want
didn't see what
yeah,
happened.
whatever. Like you bought into bins
I feel like people will agree with me in the comments.
and the weather.
Okay. Michael Wood says, hello lads, hope you well. Was having a think during the match when we got some players back, and would an option for change be to flip the tactic horizontally, have Branthwaite as a left back?
No.
But like O'Brien has moved Tarky
No.
over for O'Brien.
What are you? Stop thinking.
Oh,
You've been
Michael,
warned.
No, because you're moving your best centre back out wide. Is that just to get Patterson in? Well, at some stage he'll take O'Brien out because O'Brien showed his deficiencies at right back at the weekend as an attacking right back.
At some point, right, we will have a good right back and a good left back, won't we? No, we will, won't we? We will. We'll have a good right back and a good left back. That's what. If we're going in the direction we're saying we're going in, we're gonna have a good right back and a good left back. That's just the way it is.
Who that will be.
And O'Brien won't be playing right back.
No,
he's a centre back. He won't be playing right back. Tarkowski is getting to a point now where you have to just start looking at what the succession plans are for him. Of course, you have to. And Branthwaite, you have to look at the whole picture. But at some point, we'll have a right back and a really good right back and a left back. If that's not Patterson and that's not Mikalenko, so be it. That is life. That is life.
Steve P says, Baz, do you think Norgard on a free transfer would be good business? I think he's underrated. That makes sense and will be on the same lines as Tarkowski. He's 30 though, isn't he? Don't know. He is a good player. There's no doubt about it. But do we want better in that position? Do we want younger, mobile? But I suppose if he's free, and what you've got to pay him. But what? What are you laughing for?
No, someone just said about they do it out yesterday and they saw a taxi plate with City of Wolverhampton on it. Maybe they drove back some of our fans and then just got stuck in one of those taxi things where you just can't get away from. I've done it loads of times. You just can't get away from a place.
They just keep getting fares.
You just keep getting fares.
Oh.
That's not really the reason. The reason is because it's Uber and loads of people are going to Wolverhampton from Liverpool to get their licenses because you can basically just walk into a place and go, can I have a taxi license? And they go, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And in here, you have to jump through loads of hoops for all our different councils where Wolverhampton are just basically like, give me money and cause Uber don't care. But I have got stuck in those loops before in places like Manchester, where you've just dropped off, and then you get a job, and you think it's going to go back to Liverpool, and they're like, "Can you take us to Stretford, please, mate?" And you're like, "Yeah, okay, mate." And you're desperately putting it into your sat nav, but you can't understand what they're saying. You go, "Where are you going?" Going to close.
That's your Ned accent, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also a Manc accent. That also happens in St Helens or in other places.
Okay.
Just putting a bit of knowledge out there.
Yeah.
Which is quite funny. You don't need if you want to go to Wolverhampton.
Terry McKenna says people are calling our players right without mentioning the lack of coaching. Our main problem is we can't bring players off the bench. If we get rid of squad players, it'd be a dangerous move to try and correct it in one window. It's our first pick squad. That is the area we need to improve. Derek says maybe Bakayoko from PSV. We've looked at him before, haven't we, Johan? Possibly.
Is he linked with Newcastle for like big money as well?
He's been linked with all sorts, mate. I don't know if Newcastle are going to have big money without selling Bruno or Isaac, or Gordon. Steve Warman says, "Hey lads, great show as always. Disappointed with the team's performance on Saturday night, but a point gained in my opinion. Let's free Richie from his Spurs nightmare." Kev Maloney says Dortmund isn't going to have European football next year. You could try and pry Gittins out of their side. Depends if he wants to come play in the Premier League, yeah. Mike Raff says 10 games to go and we're safe after what years of watching that shite. Now we can all chill and look upwards and the better time. Yeah. Chris Davis says, "Afternoon lads, how much of an influence will the new stadium have on potential transfers?"
It'll allow them to happen.
Well, it's a positive, isn't it? When you're selling a club, you're trying to sell the direction of a football club, and you go, "Look where we're moving." That's our ambition. We could have just stayed at Goodison, but our ambition is to compete, and this is why we're moving here. And look at it, it's amazing, and blah blah blah. So it all becomes part of the sell, doesn't it? Whether or not it's real for players depends, but you think it'd help. Jay says, "Why were pundits saying yesterday Spurs are now 12 points from the European spots and Everton are nearly safe?"
Because that's the mindset they're in.
Spurs have got zero chance of Europe. Jay says, "Thought we looked very leggy v Wolves. However, to me now they're all just points on the board. Just easy life, enjoying football." Brian says, "It hasn't taken long for some supporters to return to type by moaning about anything possible. Agree with you both about remembering where we were 2 months ago and being realistic about expectations regarding performances for the rest of the season." You can be frustrated. You can even be a little bit angry with the performance if you think. But at the end of the day, you do have to then go, when it calms down, you have to step back and go, these are the same players we were worried. Well, in fact, they're less. Go and look at those players Dyche had available in December and January and look what's there now. The options are well less. It's the way it is. You go, okay, but we're safe. Now we have to move forward, and it's one of them. Bainey says the people moaning are probably the ones who didn't want Dyche sacked. Unbelievable with what he's managed from the same squad, plus Charlie. Get a grip. This is great compared to the last few years. Yeah, Jay said Wolves defo have more than Ipswich and Leicester, and they'll beat Southampton on Saturday, and that'll be that. Yeah, they'll batter Southampton, won't they? Brian says don't spoil Severance.
I didn't spoil Severance.
Steve P says, "I don't know about you, but I'm sick to death of this number 10 position. I don't know what the obsession is with it. The position's dying in modern football. He should be a creative number 8 and a proper holding midfielder."
Who?
Just number 10s. They just
I don't think it is. I don't think it isn't. I don't think it is a number 10 though. I think it's a.
That's what he's saying. An 8.
It's
creative 8.
It's someone who has to back up the centre forward in our team, because
I think it's a thing at the moment, Steve, and will be till the summer because of who the centre forward is, and more not even who the centre forward is, who your 2 wingers are.
Oh, and also who your number 8 is.
If you had goal scorer, if Njai's back, then it becomes Harrison or Linson for the right wing then, doesn't it? Where at the moment they're both just in by default. McNeil, who knows if he'll even play again this season, I don't know. But when Njai's back, you've got someone who is creative and has been scoring goals, and then you've got Beto, that's fine. If you add Beto as your striker, all of the stuff about you can't keep it and whatever becomes almost a non-event, because if you had two wide men who were direct and quick and had goals in them, because he'd just be part of that. Charlie behind him in that. And when you look at Alcaraz, actually, he doesn't just sit off the striker. Like on Saturday a couple of times, he was in the six, taking the ball. It's just that he's mobile and he can get up and down. So that's, I think, what we need, and we need our midfield to be able to move. But right now, when we've got the two wide players we've got, and we've got Beto with no option to replace him, and Decore, then that number 10 is sort of a position that you're looking at. But I agree, once we get to the summer, you want a holder and you want two midfield players that can do everything, and you want two wide men who are quick, or Njai and another one who the other one should be really quick, and then you'd have a bit of contrast on either side. Then you have to look at your full-backs and your front man. That's why I can't go just that one person for a marquee. It'd change it. Glenn says, having a decent left-back and right-back with O'Brien struggling to get in the starting lineup sounds like one of those good problems we'd love to have. Mm-hmm. And Barry says, last time I recall us playing on a Saturday night was Chelsea in 1969. I think it was to avoid a clash with the Grand National. It's ridiculous. You can watch any Premier League game live on TV, but not here. When do you guys think that change will come? Aren't they looking at
6 years?
Aren't they looking at an app? The Premier League now for 3 years, apparently.
I think.
Do you?
Not this next cycle, the one after. There's too much money on the table. And they're getting scammed out of too much money.
There'd be far more money on it if they'd done it themselves.
That's what I'm saying. There's too much money on the table, and they're losing too much money by they can't cope with all it. CPS is not going to start knocking on doors every single person who's getting it through a fire stick. It's just too much. Where's the problem? The issue? There's no issue at all if you just go put on app, lad, and we can. It's dead easy what you do. Just put it on.
People will pay.
People watch multiple Champions League games at the same time, and that's the biggest thing in the bloody world, isn't it? And all the games are on the same time over 2 nights. So you do the same thing. You just say games on a Saturday, games on a Sunday. Make one a big one at 4:30 or an 5:30 on a Saturday. You put all your bump round it. That's all you have to do. It's crazy. The way they do in this country is just backwards, and it is just to appease, I think, certain people at certain TV companies. But the minute they decide that it's going on one app, and that one app mightn't even be their own app at first, it might be someone like Apple who need that massive bump in live subscribers, because that's what Netflix are doing now, aren't they? They've done it with the wrestling. They understand they need a show that goes out every single week live to drive it, because loads of people can't afford to have all these different streamers. So they're chopping and changing and going, right, I'll have that 1 month and go through all those shows, and then I'll have that the next month. Or loads of them are just getting it through the same fire stick that they were getting the footy through. So no, they have to change it. This is where the music industry, we've said this loads of times, has to change, when people were just using Napster and all LimeWire and destroying our own computers and stuff. At some point you have to go, nah, this isn't working. And people will pay if they believe there's less hassle having to mess about with finding all that other stuff. You know, people will go, if it's something like £10-15 a month, people will pay. And if it means that they're just getting that one thing they want, they'll pay for it. It's one of the reasons why loads of people don't watch footy on Sky, is they don't want to pay £100 and odd pound for it, when people go, yeah, but you get all this, and they're like, I don't want all that, I just want the footy. That's all I want.
It's mad. Mo Wilder says, I'm just happy to watch and enjoy the game rather than be nervous and have my pulse high every game. Finally can relax and just enjoy watching us under boys. There you go. There you go. John McCulloch says the new Canada president even supports Everton. Heard he's bringing in a new law that means Jonathan David and Alphonso Davies have to join Everton for free. Sounds good to me. Why wouldn't he? Right, we are going. More than
although it's offset by our new club theme being I'm a Lumberjack.
Fair play. That'll be all right. I don't mind that. Right, we're going. More than a game live's back. That's
Been
it. Cut off
redirected.
the weekend. You're getting redirected. You can watch it on Switch apparently and other stuff. So there you go. Do all that. So, 2 o'clock. So just stay here if you want. And apparently Sophie's having the final word because she's a YouTube member, and she said we've had praise from Richard Masters, and I've got no context to that, so I will leave it there.
Well, because we've agreed to go to America or something.
Probably.
How mad's that? We actually know what our pre-season is, like 4 months in advance or 5 months in advance. That's crazy.
And it doesn't involve just, getting on a bus and going 20 minutes just so people can have pints and stuff.
It's because Rowney and Stoney need to be in Nottingham tomorrow. Just had to bring it back.
Oh, I got shivers there. I got absolute shivers. Right.
We're going to a christening. We don't know who the baby is, but we want to have a good drink.
The link's here. 2 o'clock. See you in a bit.